Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and I thought I would bring it on to platform here. And he mentioned this, and we got into a whole discussion about it. Whose team is it? Kyrie Irving or Luka? Because it seems like Kyrie is the one making moves. He was, as they reported, who knows if it's true or not, he was calling around LeBron, trying to see if he come to Dallas, and seems everything's about Kyrie, trying to please Kyrie, trying to get him going. I mean, did Kyrie give a call to Luka and say, hey, I'm trying to recruit Brian here. What do you think about that? I mean, was he involved in those talks? I mean, the deal Kyrie got was around 3 years, $126 million. So I guess that's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for him, I mean, to get $126 million is fantastic for anyone, but someone his caliber, you would think you would get the max from anybody. So it showed you still some doubt, or he wanted to keep it short term. Either way, if you're Luka, you're like, well, God, geez, they're just totally curtailing and trying to appease Kyrie, and I get you want to bring back any kind of free agent, so that's kind of the whole point of it. But you do wonder whose team is this going forward, and if that is going to be something that Luka now struggles with and that he needs to be filled in on. Because the front office, you don't want him to feel like he has to compete with him. You want there to be harmony. And especially since they did not make the playoffs last year with them both. They did not have a great record with them both. They're two ISO players that feed off of being ISO. I think sometimes people get mad at the word ISO like it's, oh, you're a bad player or not. But the reality is when we say ISO players, that means they thrive with the ball in their hands. They don't thrive coming off screens and all of that stuff. Of course, certain numbers and stats will show that because in the short spurts that they do it over the course of a season, because they know in their mind, okay, I won't be doing this long. I'm just doing this for some part of the game to get some rest. Not rest, but not having them on the hand the whole time. They say, okay, I can really commit to it. But if you knew a large part of the season, I'm going to be coming off screens, having a battle off screens, and that's the main way, pick and roll, trying to battle pick and rolls and battling off screens. That's the main way I'm going to get my points. Believe me, that would be a struggle for them. They're used to ISO players are used to thriving with the ball, having a high usage rate. We always look over that stat, high usage rate. Kyrie and Luka are two players who are used to having high usage rate, having the ball in their hands, dominating the game with their ball in their hands. Kyrie Irving is mainly known for what? His handles, how he dribbles the ball. ISO player. Even though he is known as a point guard, he really is a two guard, a shooting guard. There's nothing about Kyrie game that really says point guard in it. He's not a floor general type. He's not a Chris Paul floor general type. He's more of a score first guard, a two guard. But based on size and whatever reasons you put him at 1-2, it's really interchangeable. But you do wonder, especially with how Luka gets coaches fired, with Carlisle in other situations where he was clearly in control of the franchise. Once you start losing and not winning, and now Mark Cuban like, well, I need to bring in something else. I need to make a change. And they start appeasing to that new star. How do you feel? If the reports are true that Kyrie tried to reach out to Bron while he was in Dallas to bring him to Dallas, did they bring you in on the loop of this? And you can't assume they aren't, because a lot of these players from overseas, they play here, and then once the break comes of the season and they're after playoffs or whatever, they go back home because they've missed it. So not to say he's been in the loop. You know, the timing of the day and night can be so drastic. You can have things happen in a full day and totally forget to contact someone, and it not even be really rude. It's just the day happened, the story, everything happened, the meeting happened, you fell asleep and you ate. And they're like 6 to 7 hours behind in some places there, if not more. It can be literally 2 or 3 a.m. where he's at, and it can be daytime when they're having the meeting, and vice versa. So you can't assume he's in the loop because they email us. Don't be surprised. Other players of higher talent have been left out the loop of certain deals. Don't be shocked if the same thing was happening to Luka. And how do you feel about that? Because clearly he wears his emotions on his sleeve, as he has on plenty of times on the bench. You've seen him. A very interesting time in Dallas, because clearly the West is stacked. It's top heavy, and Dallas does not have enough currently. So it's a very odd time in Dallas. And what is going to happen with that situation? And how does Luka feel about all this? Kyrie, everything seems like it's being pushed, and the motion is everything is with him. And what happens if they get off to a bad start? And I hate to be negative. They could have a good start, have a good seeding, but playoffs are different. They don't have the playoff roster to win it. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next going forward. And I think the main question we'll have to learn, if Kyrie does stay in, does he is signed, but who knows, might get traded, who knows, anything can happen. But the question right now, if Luka and Kyrie stay together, whose team is it?